It's a win for Zalmi. Played one run in this match. It's a big six. Karachi have won.
It's a young franchise, but they've done it.
Take it down, Grenadier. What a stab.
Think of Pakistani cricket and the first thing that springs to mind is fast bowling.
Ball cleans him up.
On Wednesday night in Multan, we witnessed a fire and brimstone performance by the latest of this never-ending conveyor belt of quicks.
Gone. Quick delivery, really quick delivery.
Isanullah's 5 for 12 was the second best performance by a Multan Sultan bowler in the history of HBL Pakistan Super League.
Straight! You haven't got anything! He has 5 wickets!
Now the 20-year-old will get to test himself against the very best this country has to offer, as the Peshawar Zalmi ride into town fresh off the back of a thrilling opening win in Karachi.
Babar Azam underway with a boundary.
When you mix blue and yellow, you get the colour green. But for tonight at least, Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam will put their friendship aside as Pakistan's prolific opening partners go in search of a second successive win that would put their teams on the top of the table in the HBL PSL 8.
Hello and welcome to match 5 of the HBL PSL 8. It is Multan Sultans at home once again, and this time they welcome Peshawar Zalmi to their ground. Well, it's the weekend around here, so people will come in big numbers and they'll make the most of every opportunity they get to witness matches here at the Multan Cricket Stadium. They've come in from various towns around Multan, and of course the city of Multan loves their team, Multan Sultans. Hello and welcome to the Pitchside Studio. I'm here, Sikandar, with you. We'll talk about what have we actually seen in the games that have gone by and what to expect in the encounter today, which is Multan versus Peshawar. I'll welcome my guests alongside me. It's Waqar Yunus, Dominic Cork. Good evening, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Waqar. The way the matches have gone by, it seems like the fast bowlers have had more say.
I mean, yeah, you can say that. You know, the spell from Ihsanullah was just awesome, and some of the really good bowling by Wahab the other day. They defended some good totals also. So it's not all about sort of chasing and you're chasing down the totals. It's also bowlers are understanding the game really well. Pitches have been excellent. I mean, you cannot really ask for a better start of PSL, and especially Multan. You know that it's my town, so people come from all around this area, and they've been starving for cricket, and they're just enjoying it. And I can't wait for tonight's game.
Yeah, of course, everyone is having a ball of a time out here, especially supporting their home team. Dominic alongside me. Dominic, you've seen 4 matches, still early days in the tournament, but the first look of the teams, what do you make of that?
Very similar to last year, as when I know we're going to look at the league table in a minute, but very similar to the way it started with Multan Sultan at the top. Obviously, Peshawar Zalmi have brought in Babar Azam, which will be, I think, is a great signing for them. Darren Sammy I think they've done some good business to bring him in. But when you look at the table, it looks similar to last year. What I've seen from Multan, we've done every single Multan game here. They still seem to, I think they're just looking at combinations. They're at the top. You know that there's obviously, we're very early in the competition. In Islamabad United, you know, they look good. Peshawar Zalmi, Karachi Kings have got to just get it right. It's simple, but it's still early. There's still a lot of games left in this PSL 8, but ultimately you look at the top and think, wow, these are going to be some teams to beat. And tonight's game is a mouth-watering prospect, because you've got two teams, I think, who will be near enough at the top at the end.
Yeah. Got two fast bowlers alongside me, and I could watch them at the edge of their seats when Ehsanullah was bowling that spell of 5 for 12. It was something very special. I think it was just his day, and nobody else could do anything else about it.
Yeah, he bowled quickly. I mean, he's got a very, very good action. He's got a very good, wrist position, and he puts serious gas into the delivery. They couldn't really handle his pace. It's not only, the good line and length, but the pace was there. And I think, we all know that what PSL brings to the table is always, some of the fast bowlers come through. As you see, always the youngsters coming through. He's only 20 years of age, and with that pace, 150, please, I have a feeling that he's going to get quicker, because he's tall and he's going to get more bounce, TP bounce, and he's going to trouble other batsmen also going forward.
I completely agree with what Waqar is saying. It's the wrist position.
Yeah.
It's the whip of the actual wrist. That's where he gets his pace. And you're spot on. He's 20 years old. I don't think I felt comfortable with bowling until I was 27. I didn't bowl quick, you did. But I think he'll get faster. I think he'll understand the game a little bit more. But what a start. 5 wickets. What was impressive with me is, yes, people will say, well, he got a couple of wickets that were short and wide or whatever. But you know this, Waqar, than anybody else. When you bowl at that pace, you put batters under pressure. They have got no time to react.
Yeah, 150, I always feel that after sort of 143, 144, every kilometers makes a big difference. And he is hitting 150, and I'm sure he's going to get quicker. As I said, he's only 20 years of age, and he's going to be really lethal going forward. And he's also hungry. Don't forget, he's been last couple of years, he has few injuries, and also really working at the NCA, and it looks good. Really looks good.
Yeah. Well, we know it's just early days in the tournament, so every team is having their first opportunity to visit another ground. It's Zalmi today coming to Multan's home, and you'll see some very familiar faces, some of them appearing for the first time. We hear that few reinforcements have come around for Multan and for Peshawar Zalmi. This is the home side, of course, the man we were talking about. We'd like to see more expressions from Andy. And, of course, the big man. And he will, of course, have a big say in the HBL PSL very, very soon. And here is the former captain and the current captain now. And Peshawar Zalmi, of course, will challenge the Multan Sultans. They've got a lot of firepower, haven't they?
They have got so much balance in their side that they were looking for a quick fast bowler. Dhani gone, and I think Ehsanullah will fit in really, really well. So I don't think they will have much of an issue with that. They've got good spinner in, Mir Hamza. He's a wonderful...
they've got... 1 second.
Yeah, it's a bit far for us.
It's too far away from me.
but they have got balance. They've got so many good overseas players. Riley Rousseau, we saw him the other day. The Bradford is there. So they have got so much power in that lineup, and they've got a very steady openers. Don't forget, the top of the table. If they have two good openers, if they give them good start, that will make a big difference.
Throwing Carlos Brathwaite as well. The tall. We're on about tall bowlers who are hitting these surfaces. Ehsanullah, he showed when he's got that sort of pace what he can do. Obviously, Brathwaite, I think, is bowling a lot better these days as well. I think when you look at that squad, they are balanced. And what they've got is they've worked well of making sure if somebody goes down injured, that they're able to pluck somebody and say, right, you'll take that role. And I think Andy Flower's got it spot on.
Okay, let's have a look at Zalmi squad. What do they have this year round? And if, of course, the brand new captain.
Yeah, well, I think when you look at this, the one man that sticks out is Rovman Powell because of his power. You think about Andre Russell and how he's hit the ball in T20 franchise cricket. Tom Kohler-Cadmore has an excellent start against the Karachi Kings. Nisham is, I think, key to him as well because he just adds that little bit of spark. And then you just look at the way that they play. Some of the other teams will look actually better. Shakib Al-Hassan with his experience and his left arm spin and his left arm. When you look at the way they played against Karachi, they got to 199 for 5, which was a very good score. They nearly lost it in the end. They actually didn't bowl that well. So I think when you look at somebody like a Darren Sammy, who's a coach who knows about the competition, he's played in it, he's captain him, he's now coach, I think he's just got to make sure he just brushes up those few little areas which I think, you know, they can just get better at. But ultimately, I think they've got a very strong squad. I think when you look at these two teams, I think these two teams have got the best two squads in the competition.
Yeah, they have to fix their no-ball issues, and of course fielding has not been that great, you know, overall. Not only the Zalmis, but overall, if you look at, we've seen a lot of drop catches at crucial times and crucial no-balls at crucial times. They're very, very lucky that they won the first game, and you know, coming here against Multan Sultan on their home soil, it's not going to be easy for them. Wahab's really come good today. He did well. Salman Rashad is there. I mean, they've got power. They've got good bowling attack. But it's just that they have to be disciplined going against Multan Sultan.
Yeah, we just saw Babar Azam not so long ago. He's there in that huddle, and of course Babar Azam is leading Peshawar Zalmi this year. And you know, talk about numbers game throughout the HBL PSL history. Babar Azam is the only consistent thing I can think of, and those numbers we'll just share with you. They actually endorse the fact that Babar Azam does what he does best out there with that bat in his hand.
Look, since he has been playing cricket, he's been outstanding. Yeah, talking of Babar Azam, I mean, just purely just numbers, if you look at it, he's up there not only at this level, but you know, talking of international cricket also, he's been outstanding. He has really served the country really well. He served the Karachi really well. Yes, his team didn't really win much. He's got, you know, 24 50s. He's got, you know, over 2,000 runs, 2,400 runs.
And then just look at second place. He's so far ahead. You know, he's a sensational player. I think, you know, that's the difference. Because, you know, Fakhar Zaman has been around a long time as well. So, you know, you just see the difference in the quality. Wherever he plays, whatever team he plays in, Babar Azam, he looks at times one of the best on show.
You know about the cover drives that he plays. He's known for that. But that particular shot he played in that first game against Mohammad Ahmed, we'll share that with you. But that's the numbers run. I mean, really, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, everything was so immaculate about that shot. Let's have a look at that and we'll get our guests to tell us. But did you watch that shot?
I 100% did. I mean, you know, in the past for a week, there was a little bit of banter going on between Amer and Wahab, and it was a very aggressive sort of approach from Babar. He loves playing that cover drive. He's been practicing that. Once you see it in the game, you know, that shot was amazing. I mean, cover drive is known for that. He's been outstanding playing that cover drive. He, you know, manages pace really well, reads the pitch really well, and that shot was just awesome.
And I think for any young boy or girl out there, I think when you watch somebody like a Babar Azam, you just know that he's not a big tall man, he's not a muscly man, it's pure timing. His hands, timing, head position. So for any young boy or girl out there who wants to know how to play a cover drive, watch him and watch his timing, because it's immaculate.
I think we do need to spend some time out there to talk more about his cover drive. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll get Babar Azam and, of course, some expert advice on that. Welcome back to the pitchside studio, talking of match 5, Multan Sultan versus Peshawar Zalmi. And just before the break, we were talking about Babar Azam and his immaculate cover drives. So to know more how it's played and what was so special about it, let's join Aaron and Butch right in the center.
Yes, Sikandar, there's always a lot of chat and excitement about the big maximums that we see in cricket shortest format, but there's always something special about the classically beautiful cover drive, and someone who was rather partial to a cover drive in his time, Mark Butcher.
Well, it was a long time ago, and I'm not sure I can remember actually doing it, but I can remember watching it. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. Babar Azam's first scoring stroke of the PSL number 8. There is something very, very classical, very wonderful about the way that he does it. It's very much led with the head. Head goes out to the ball first, then the backlift. The backlift is the last thing last thing to come down. The bat stays up in the air, then comes through beautifully through the line of the ball, and he almost sort of turns his back on the ball slightly. The classical way of playing that cover drive is to kind of lead with the head, get the foot out there, turn the back slightly, and then let the bat come flying through, gliding through, almost exactly in the way that you did it there. Oh, that's gone over mid-wicket though, Eric.
Exactly where I intended it.
Well, indeed. And the great thing about it is that somebody like Babar will play it very much the old-fashioned way, where the bottom hand is very much just a guide on the bat, and it's very much a top-handed lead stroke. The sort of modern way of hitting it nowadays is to hit it a lot more with the bottom hand and guide it that way. But Babar does it in very classical style, which shows that there is more than one way to skin a cat. I mean, clearly, if you're learning how to play the stroke, I mean, the ideal thing to do really is you get somebody to roll the ball, maybe bounce the ball 4 or 5 times towards you with a tennis ball, and just get into the habit of leading with your head. Get the head over the ball first. The foot then will naturally follow. Keep the hands and the bat out of the way, and then lean into the stroke and allow the bat to flow all the way through with the follow through up above the head, and that's the way to do it. I mean, somebody like Babar, of course, with that classical style, it means perhaps, and this is a little bit of snark towards the leading run scorer in the competition, is that perhaps with that classical style, he doesn't have the strike rate that some of the other players have. And also, it'll be interesting to see whether he gets much chance to play the cover drive if Isanullah gets the bowl at him, because he's not going to be pitching too many in his half, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, different kind of wickets we have seen so far in Multan compared to Karachi as well. A little bit too paced sometimes, maybe not as much time, but you know, the cover drive, it can be an attacking shot too, kind of, because that beautiful shot went for 4, didn't it?
Well, absolutely. And also, if you think about it, if you're opening the batting, if you're up there at the top of the order, the best time to bat in T20 game, that the field is up inside the circle. And so therefore, you all really have to do is to lean on the ball, use the pace that the bowler gives you, lean on it, find the gaps, and you will find the boundary. The difficulty comes with that classical stroke play when the field goes back. And when bowlers are mixing up their pace a bit more, you don't have the option just to use the pace and time it gloriously through the field. But one thing is for sure, for people who love watching the game of cricket and for people who have a classical outlook on the game of cricket, Babar Azam's cover drive is the best in the business.
And it's not all about hitting maximums too, is it? We've often seen times where teams have had an attacking mindset, perhaps like at Islamabad United. You lose a lot of quick wickets in the power play and you need to rebuild. So that sort of, I suppose, mindset towards attacking a batting innings like a Babar Azam can come in very handy.
Well, indeed. I mean, and he is so very consistent. I mean, and that is partly because of his wonderful technical ability. And that is part of the reason why he's a wonderful man to have at the other end if you're somebody like Tom Kohler Cadmore, who wants to come out there and put bat to ball. To have that sort of yin and yang, the fire and water, if you like, out there in the middle means that one end you know that you've got everything locked down and things are ticking along nicely, and at the other end you can be mega explosive.
Oh, that's amazing insight. Well, kids, if you're watching that, take note of what Butch just said as well so you can practice your classical cover drive at home.
Yeah, if the fast bowlers start appreciating a cover drive, then...
Well, it just reminded me of a shot I tried to play at Lord's in a test match against this good man here who didn't really pitch a lot up to me, funny enough, but when he did pitch one up to me, I played the classical. I did exactly what Butch told me to do. Classical, just get in a position. I actually, lovely arms through the ball, didn't even look round because I missed the ball, and all I could hear was the stumps going towards the mowing car, and literally just walked straight to the pavilion. So it was a classical, you know, cover drive, but unfortunately I missed it.
Okay, before we get to the toss, which is very, very close, I'd just like to ask my guests over here, the composition of the 11. We've seen, and now more fast bowlers are being chosen. 3 on each side. Yesterday played only one spinner, Imran Tahir was dropped. Do you see similar things happening today with these two? In their 11, you'll see more fast bowlers than a spin options?
Yeah, early season, evening games, and the pitch gets a little quicker in the evening. We have seen Hassan the other day. You know, the ball was carrying nicely. There was plenty of bounce in that pitch. So I feel once the pitch gets a little bit older, it gets drier, I think it'll be a different story then.
Okay. Well, Waqar, thank you so much. And now time for us to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the toss and lots of stuff ready for you from match 5.
Well, welcome back to the pitch side studio, of course, building up to ball one of the Multan Sultans taking on Peshawar Zalmi. And I thought Dominic Cork and Waqar Younis were having way too much fun without me, so I've slid in to the box office seat here, boys. But we're leading up to the toss, obviously a very crucial part of any T20 match. Corky, I know you had a little look at the wicket out there before. Or what do you expect the captains to do should they win the toss today?
Well, we've seen 4 games already, and every team has won the toss and bowled first. I don't expect anything different, because I just think sides now, I think if there's going to be any movement with these cracks, because there's a few little cracks down there, then as a bowler we want it now. And I think when it gets a little bit moisture coming through, and I think it just squeezes the cracks together and it gets a little bit better to bat on. But ultimately I think they'll look to bowl first and look to whoever wins the toss, attack that opening 6 overs and take as many wickets as possible.
And we saw Ihsanullah was obviously incredible for the Multan Sultans in their last game. And Waqar, I know you're getting very excited at the prospect of yet another emerging talent coming out of the ranks. And again, the Multan Sultans finding another gem like they did with Shahnawaz Dahani. But, what do you make of what he'll do in this wicket today?
I think it'll be similar. I mean, no captain wants to bat first, so that's a trend. Not only in PSL, but just generally in T20 cricket, that's what the captains look to do. They like chasing, the pitch gets a little bit better, especially with the lights on. So I don't think they're going to do anything different. But yeah, very, very excited to just see Ehsan, who's been outstanding in the first game. Can he really repeat that? Or can he just do even half of that? He's up against a really quality batsman like Babar.
I was going to say that is the matchup for me, isn't it? For you, pace against Babar early on in the power play. Big ask for a young man, though.
Yeah, I think I'll just unleash him just to Babar, because he's got pace, he gets that extra bounce, fresh pitch, test him out. I wouldn't go Samin or Abbas or anyone else. I'll just give him the ball, and maybe Akil. He's got issues against the left armer also. So, I mean, they have got the matchups right. I know Andy is very thinking coach, so he will probably chip in with his ideas.
Both coaches, I think, we're going to the toss very soon. I think when you've got Rovman Powell, Carlos Brathwaite, they'd be straight in.
Yeah, I saw those big West Indians floating around. All remains to be seen who'll be playing today. So let's get to the toss with Sikandar and the 2 captains out in the middle.
Hello and welcome to match 5 of the HBL PSL Season 8. It is Multan Sultans once again, Mohammad Rizwan to my right. And we've got Babar Azam here in brand new kit, the captain of Peshawar Zalmi. The match referee with us, Mr. Mohammad Anis. I suppose Rizwan has the coin and Babar will call. Tails is the call. And tails it is. Babar has won the toss. Babar, सबसे पहले ये बताएं, what are you going to do?
हम बॉलिंग करेंगे क्योंकि पिच नया और पिच काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है, तो मेरे ख्याल से सेकंड टाइम ड्यू फैक्टर भी है, so that's why we are bowling first.
अभी तक हमने देखा है कि यहाँ पर इस टूर्नामेंट में दोनों वेन्यूज़ में फास्ट बॉलर्स का ज़्यादा से रहा है. ये थोड़ा सा इफेक्ट कर रहा है कॉम्बिनेशन को 11 की, या आपको मिल गई ये परफेक्ट कॉम्बिनेशन? अभी तो एक ही मैच है वैसे.
देखें, हमारे पास जो बेंच ऑफ प्लेयर्स हैं वो काफ़ी अच्छे हैं और फॉर्नर्स भी काफ़ी अच्छे हैं, तो कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जो बेस्ट 11 हो वो खिलाई जाए. और बिल्कुल पिच जो यहाँ की मुल्तान की थोड़ी फास्ट बॉलर्स को सपोर्ट करती है, थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा बाउंस होता है, तो मेरे ख्याल से फास्ट बॉलर को एज मिलेगा. लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम बैट्समैनों को भी अगर सेट होता है तो उसको काफ़ी अच्छा बॉल आता है बैट पे.
Any changes in the side?
We have one change. Shakib Hassan is not playing. Pawal is playing.
So have a good one.
Thanks.
Rizwan, I think अगर आप जीते तो आप बॉलिंग ही करते पहले?
Obviously, बिल्कुल.
तो फिर ये बताइए कि आज जब पहले बैटिंग मिली है तो फिर माइंड में क्या रखा हुआ है? कोई टोटल ऐसा है जो आपको लगता है कि यहाँ पर आसान है जीतना इसमें?
देखिए जी, पिच नई पिच है और कुछ खास प्रेडिक्ट इस पे नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि मुझे थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट ही लग रहा है. बाकी जो पिचेस से खास प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते, मगर ये है कि अर्ली ऑन आपने जाते ही एसेस करना पड़ता है जो हमारे आम रूटीन में से चीज़ें हैं, उसी तरह करेंगे. मेरे ख्याल से कोई डिफरेंस नहीं होगा, पहली बैटिंग या दूसरी बैटिंग अच्छी क्रिकेट खेलेंगे इंशाल्लाह.
आपसे भी वही सवाल पूछता हूँ कि फास्ट बॉलर्स का ज़्यादा यहाँ पे से दिख रहा है, उसी हिसाब से आपने कुछ चेंजेस लाए हैं टीम में?
जी बिल्कुल. पिच को देखते हुए एक चेंज किया हमने. अकील हुसैन की जगह कार्लोस ब्रैथवेट खेल रहा है.
चलिए, गुड लक टू यू.
थैंक यू.
Okay, so here we are. We know that Babar Azam and Peshawar Zalmi have won the toss and they've decided to bowl first. Not something new. The captains are actually wanting to do that. Let me just walk down to Simon Dool at the important part of the pitch, of the ground. Simon, how do you look at this and that decision once again to bowl first?
It's not surprising, but the one thing I will say about the surface, Sekunda, when I look at it, it's a good batting pitch. One thing that has happened throughout this early part of the tournament so far, 17 wickets have fallen to the quick bowlers. 17 of the 23. 2 run-outs and only 4 to spin. So I can understand why teams are picking an extra seam bowler, that is for sure. But it's nice and shiny. It's slippery for my boots. That's one thing, so it'll skid on nicely. I still worry about teams opting to bowl first all the time, because if you put runs on the board here, a la the first game of the tournament, 175 on the board, couldn't chase it down. Anything above that 180 mark, I think you are in the game. It's a good batting surface. Don't be afraid about batting first on it. I think there's runs out here.
Well, just as Waqar predicted, the Zalmi win the toss and they elect to bowl first. We're just waiting on our team list to come through for those playing 11, but they did say there's one change for both teams today, and those West Indians that we mentioned, Carlos Brathwaite and Robin Powell, well, they make their way into the sides, Corky.
Certainly do. I think you've got to. When somebody like a Powell is available, he comes in. So, you know, it's no surprise there. Shakib Al Hassan, the left-arm spinner all-rounder, goes out. And then Akil Hussain is left out for Carlos Brathwaite as well. So I think they're the 2 changes. Interesting to hear what Dooley says about the 17 wickets down to seam early on. And I agree with him in some way that don't always win the toss and bowl first. Because later on in the competition, when you lose the toss, as a batting side, and you know this as a coach as well, sometimes that can put you under a bit of pressure because it's something you're not used to. So I think in some ways, yes, it's good to lose a toss just to give you a bit of pressure, but ultimately I think both sides were going to bowl first, and it'll be interesting to see how the Zalmi come out and attack in those first 6 overs with the new ball.
And Waqar, I mean, Akil Hussain has been unbelievable all throughout the world in many, many franchise cricket teams with the ball, obviously spin up front, and they've left him out for Carlos Brathwaite. Do you think that's indicative of what they're expecting from the wicket?
I think it's one because of the pitch. There's more bounce on the pitch, and secondly, Brathwaite is in great form. You know, he's just coming out of ILT league, and he's been outstanding with the ball in hand, let alone his batting ability. But with the ball, he's been really doing well. He's a wicket taker. He gets that extra bounce. So I think it's a fair enough change. You need more fast bowlers on this pitch than the spinners, but you got to hurry up. Don't just leave it for late, because in this early part, we have seen that the teams are losing overs, and then they have to bring the fielder in, and can be costly, going forward.
Oh, certainly so much to look forward to in this particular matchup, and plenty more to look forward to here at the Pitchside Studio. Do not go anywhere, because just after the break, we have a very special segment with Babar Azam coming up too, so you certainly do not want to miss that one.
वेलकम बैक वंस अगेन। ये है पिच साइड स्टूडियो, और आपको पता है टॉस जीत लिया है पेशावर ने, तो मुल्तान सुल्तान की आ गई पहले बैटिंग, और मरीना भी आ गई। मरीना, कैसा लग रहा है ये 11 देखकर, ये पैकेज जो आज लेके आए हैं मुल्तान?
एक चेंज इन्होंने किया है, अकील हुसैन को रिप्लेस किया है, कार्लोस ब्रैथवेट आगे मजीद बैटिंग को अपनी स्ट्रेंथन किया है। मुझे ये नहीं पता कि इन सारों को मौका कब और कहाँ मिलेगा, क्योंकि जितनी ऊपर पार्टनरशिप रिजवान और शान मसूद की लगती है काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट ऑब्वियसली बहुत अच्छा मोमेंटम है इनका, एक बैलेंस साइड है, और एहसानुल्लाह है, उसामा मीर, बॉलिंग साइड भी अगर आप देखें तो बहुत तगड़ी है।
दोनों ही टीमों ने एक एक स्पिनर से जान छुड़ाई है अपनी, और मीडियम पेसेस या ऑलराउंडर्स को लेके आए। इधर कार्लोस ब्रैथवेट आ गए ऑफ कोर्स स्पिनर को छोड़ के, और ज़ल्मी ने भी यही किया है, शाकिब को रेस्ट करा दिया है, और उनकी जगह जो है वो पावल को लाए हैं।
आई थिंक उनका बिलीव ये है कि इस पिच पे अभी, क्योंकि स्टार्ट ऑफ द सीज़न है, तो थोड़ा बाउंस ज़्यादा होता है, बाद में शायद ये थोड़ा ईजी हो जाए पिच और उतना बाउंस ना हो, तो अभी इसको यूटिलाइज़ किया जाए। इन्होंने भी रामन पावल को लेके आए हैं। आई थिंक इज़ अ वंडरफुल प्लेयर, अच्छी फॉर्म में भी है, जस्ट रिसेंटली बहुत अच्छा। दोनों टीमों को देखा जाए तो इनकी जो पावर हाउस है, जो 3 से लेके 7 तक, बहुत ही तगड़े बैट्समैन हैं सबके ही। ऊपर भी ऑफ कोर्स दोनों के टॉप क्लास ओपनर्स हैं, थोड़ा ज़्यादा टाइम ज़रूर लेते हैं, लेकिन ये है कि ये हमेशा इन दोनों टीमों को देखा कि बीच के जो टाइम है, जब उधर वो कवर कर लेते हैं। देन ऑफ कोर्स जो इनका जो वहाब रियाज का एक्सपीरियंस, खुरम शहजाद भी काफ़ी क्रिकेट के, सलमान, इरशाद, स्लिंगी, तो इनके पास काफ़ी पावर हाउस है। पिछला मैच थोड़ा बचत होगी इनकी, हार भी सकते थे, लेकिन पिछला मैच ये भी जीते हुए हैं। मुल्तान सुल्तान 1 साइडेड मैच जीती है, तो दोनों टीमों का ये है कि दोनों टीमें तगड़ी हैं और ये अच्छा मुकाबला होने वाला है।
अच्छा मुकाबला होगा। कहीं आपको ऐसा लगता है कि टॉस का रोल अभी कुछ ज़्यादा है या नहीं है? इवन स्टीवंस है।
आई डोंट थिंक कि बहुत ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि देखिए जो सरफेस है उसमें तो खास फर्क आएगा नहीं, और जिस तरह की स्ट्रेंथ और बैटिंग लाइनअप और बॉलिंग भी दोनों की हैं, बहुत बैलेंस साइड हैं दोनों ही, और अच्छी फॉर्म में अच्छे मोमेंटम के साथ आ रही हैं, तो आई डोंट थिंक कि बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करेगा।
ओके, हमने कुछ चेंजेस देखे थे यहाँ पे और हमने देखा कि ये जो चेंजेस हैं वो स्पिनर्स को हटा के और थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेंथन किया बैटिंग को और मीडियम पेसर्स को भी लाए। इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ ये जो कि मेंशन की थी पिच के टाइम पे भी कि जो बॉलर्स ने विकेट्स लिए हैं वो टोटल 22 हैं, इसमें से 18 पेसर्स किए हैं। ये काफ़ी बड़ा नंबर है।
और जो बैट्समैन हैं वो सारे वेट कर रहे होते हैं कि स्पिनर आए और हम थोड़ा सा सारा जो प्रेशर है उसको रिलीज़ करें। तो दोनों टीमों को ये समझा और दोनों टीमों ने ये किया कि दोनों स्पिनर्स को बाहर किया और ऑलराउंडर और पेसर्स लेके आए, ताकि वो जो थोड़ी कमज़ोरी है वो ना दिखाई दे। सिर्फ एक चीज़ का इश्यू हो सकता है कि ओवर रेट का, कि आप पीछे रह जाते हैं तो फिर आपको फील्डर अंदर लाना पड़ता है सर्कल के अंदर। वो इश्यू दोनों टीमों को देखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि दोनों टीमों ने पिछली दफ़ा ये गलती की थी।
चलिए, हमने काफ़ी जिक्र किया बाबर आजम का और उनकी कवर ड्राइव का और उनकी परफॉर्मेंस का। आइए बाबर आजम से ही सुनते हैं, हाउ डज ही सी व्हेन ही हैज गॉट द बैट इन हिज हैंड।
मेरी जो ये वीकनेस थी अर्ली स्टेज में, इस पे मैं बहुत स्ट्रगल करता था और बड़ों ने मुझे कहा कि ये शॉट छोड़ दो या कुछ देर के लिए इसको अर्ली स्टेज में आप जाके ना मारें। बस वो उसमें ये होता था कि काफ़ी बार सोचना और इसको कैसे इम्प्रूव किया जाए और कैसे इस चीज़ को ख़त्म किया जाए। तो वो सिर्फ प्रैक्टिस थी और माइंडसेट की गेम थी और किस टाइम पे कब मारनी है, बस उसकी प्रैक्टिस की हो। अब अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह स्ट्रेंथ है मेरी। एबी डिविलियर्स ने इंस्पायर मुझे 2006 में मैंने जब देखा था टीवी में फर्स्ट टाइम, तो वो मुझे काफ़ी इंस्पायर मैं देख के बैटिंग को हुआ। उनका स्टाइल जो था खड़ा होने का स्टांस, तो वो फिर मैं जितना देखता था उनकी वीडियोस मैच लगते थे तो वो मैं कॉपी करने की कोशिश करता था और उससे वो मेरी क्रिकेट सर्कल में वो चीज़ें चल रही हैं। बहुत उन्होंने सपोर्ट किया मुश्किल टाइम में। अर्ली स्टेज में जो था वो मुझे बहुत बैक किया उन्होंने, हर जगह लेके जाना और क्रिकेट सेंस उनको काफ़ी थी और सपोर्ट करना। अभी भी जब मैं कभी डाउन होता हूँ तो हमेशा उनसे ही मशवरा और अपनी चीज़ें शेयर करता हूँ, तो काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंस मिलता है और पॉजिटिव थिंग्स मिलती हैं उनसे। हमेशा मेरा अपने बॉलर से ही काफ़ी कंपटीशन रहता है और जब भी अगेंस्ट आते हैं तो वो हमेशा टफ टाइम देते हैं। हम PSL खेलते हैं तो पूरा लग के मैच खेलते हैं। गोल ये है कि एज अ कैप्टन PSL जीतना, अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दूँ और उस परफॉर्मेंस से आप जीतें, तो वो एक मेरा एक ड्रीम है कि इसको भी इंशाल्लाह जल्दी पूरा करेंगे।
क्या शानदार परफॉर्मेंस रही है। करियर भी आप इनका देखें, चाहे वो फ्रेंचाइज हो चाहे पाकिस्तान के लिए हो, इट्स जस्ट बीन सो गुड, सो कंसिस्टेंट, दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट।
ग्रेट इन मेकिंग आई वुड से, क्योंकि जो क्वालिटीज़ हैं, जितनी अच्छी बॉल उनको दिखती है, जितना अच्छा टाइम करते हैं, ये ऐसा प्लेयर है कि जो कैन गो फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम और बहुत ही अच्छा खेलेगा, पाकिस्तान को सर्व करेगा और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है, मुझे कोई शक नहीं है कि ये वन डे ही विल बी अप देयर विद द ग्रेट्स ऑफ द गेम।
पेशावर या मुल्तान मरीना?
बहुत टफ है आज, लेकिन आई एम स्टिल लीनिंग टुवर्ड्स मुल्तान।
एक्चुअली दोनों वाइट बॉल में पाकिस्तान को ओपन करते हैं, इनफैक्ट T20s में अगर कहें, और दोनों को एक दूसरे का स्टाइल पता है, बैटिंग के अलावा थिंकिंग प्रोसेस भी। तो ये बड़ा अच्छा इनकाउंटर हो सकता है, एक दूसरे की स्ट्रेंथ्स वीकनेस से जो आप वाकिफ होते हैं तो फिर बेस्ट निकल के सामने आता है। आप दोनों को थैंक यू कहता हूँ। लेट्स एंजॉय दिस इम्पोर्टेंट, ऑल इम्पोर्टेंट इनकाउंटर बिटवीन मुल्तान सुल्तान एंड पेशावर ज़ल्मी, मैच 5 of the HBL PSL 8. All that action on the other side of the break.